everybody. This is Becky Mossbrucker, and I am the owner of StrongerTogetherTribe.org. We are a women's only empowerment group where we speak about women's issues to other women. We speak about all kinds of different topics. And so if you are interested in being interviewed, please let me know. You can find me on all the social media. I am everywhere. Or you can just email me at my parent company, which is forwardsafetytraining.org, .com. We will get you hooked up and plugged in and set to go. So today we are interviewing Faye Chapman, and the name of her company is called This Is Coaching. I think that's a cool name. I love it. So we're going to be talking about weight loss, hormones, body, and life, and how we can connect them all together. So Faye, thank you very much for being on this morning. And why don't you introduce yourself and your company a little bit more and tell us why you started it and what you're doing with it to date.
Thank you, Becky, and I appreciate you allowing me to be on here with you. So our company, This Is Coaching, the name, you mentioned the name, comes from, we were tired of people coming to us saying they've been given a meal plan by someone.
Hang on 1 minute. He's knocking on the door. Hang on just a second. It figures, right? Hang on just a minute.
I have to go to the store real quick. I ran out of nitrogen even though the bottle was full.
Oh, man. Okay.
Whatever the store did, they didn't give me a full bottle.
Okay.
So I just need to go get that, go get some refrigerant. I'll be back on now.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. We're going to start over. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right. He has to go to the store and buy some more stuff. So I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? All right. Coming prepared. He is not. Okay. I'm just going to let this recording run, but I'll cut all that out. So we will start back from where we were. It'd be a lot easier than just trying to cut and splice. All right. So hello, everybody. It is Becky Mossbrucker here, and I am the owner of Stronger Together Tribe. We are a women's empowerment group, and we are here to talk about some different topics throughout this series. But today we're talking about weight loss, hormones, our body, and our health. And we are going to be speaking with Faye Chapman, and the name of her company is This Is Coaching. So Faye, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started, and we'll go from there.
Well, thanks for having me on, Becky. So my name is Faye. We've got a company with a few different coaches. We typically work with women who want to lose weight, but sometimes they want to tone up or build some muscle, and more so prioritizing health. So when we first started, we worked with a lot of women around 25 to 30 who wanted to lose weight. And, that trend that was like, get a big bum and a small waist, like that was the trend at the time. But as we progressed and the way that we teach, we're attracting more and more people between the ages of 35 and 55, maybe 60, typically going through perimenopause or menopause or heading towards there, and they want to prepare themselves for that as best as possible. So we started the company because we were tired of people, we were personal trainers in person at the time, but we were tired of people coming to us for an hour, wanting to be, as sweaty as possible, aching for days after, and feeling like a failure if that wasn't the case. And then going home and eating rubbish, not sleeping well and struggling to lose weight because they're putting all this effort in at the gym, but they're not getting results. So when we take a step back, we look at hormones, we look at lifestyle, all of those have a bigger impact on weight loss than just eat less and move more. Myself personally, I went through a weight loss journey of about 40 pounds. And initially I did it all the wrong things. I was eating 1,200 calories. I was doing loads of cardio. I wasn't sleeping. I was like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. That kind of attitude. I was doing all the wrong things. And I was starving. I was miserable. And I lost weight, but I didn't look like I wanted. I didn't look lean. So then I, listened to tons of podcasts, did a lot of education, learned from other experts in the field. And now we have much more of a holistic approach when it comes to nutrition, lifestyle, habits, hormones, and workouts as well. So that's the company in a nutshell.
It sounds awesome because, you know, I think so many people want to lose weight and they don't realize what all comes with that, right? So I know I've had some friends that have lost, I don't remember what it was, 60 or 70 pounds. And now they're like, okay, I can't eat anything. You know, they maybe do or don't exercise as much as they should, but they're, you know, it's almost like they're miserable because they've lost the weight. They feel better, they look better, but they're like, well, now I'm restricted to so much food that I can't have. And they're just like unhappy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, but you wanted to lose weight. So there's got to be a balance, right, between losing the weight and feeling happy about it and feeling healthy about it. So how do you help people when that's their struggle?
It's definitely learning about the journey and learning to love the journey versus concentrating on the end goal. That's the first thing, because you could look really good at 140, 150 pounds, but be heavier than what maybe you want to. But then you might be 120 pounds. You might not look how you want. You might have really low energy. You might not have the motivation to get up and do anything. Like you say, you might be restricted. So it's about getting that lifestyle balance that you can live on for the rest of your life. So rather than punishing yourself and trying to force yourself out of hate for your body and the way you look, it's about learning to love yourself and nourishing nourishing your body and exercising to look after your body versus to burn calories and to just purely lose weight. So it's definitely a balance, and every body is different. So every physical body is different. Everyone's lifestyles are different. So your lifestyle will be different to mine. So your plan or your program, for however you want to put it, would look completely different to mine. So by giving just a generic meal plan and generic workout plan, it might work for 20% of the people we give it to. But really, if you want that balance, you need to have something personalized. And when it comes to losing, if they lost 60 pounds, for example, through restriction, their body will adapt to that. So your metabolism will slow down, and it will store energy, which is calories, more. And you'll tear down muscle, which means you're not going to burn as many calories generally. So you really need this lifestyle that is going to optimize your hormones, optimize your body, optimize your metabolism, so you can live your life and enjoy it as well, with friends, family, partners, or by yourself.
So why, this is a personal question of mine. Why is it when we get older, and I always say older because my grandson will say, Grandma, you're old. I said, no, I'm not. I'm older than you. That's it. Don't give me many numbers. Why is it that when we get older, our metabolism starts to slow down? I've always wondered that. It does, and it does it to everybody, but why does it do that? What are we doing wrong to make it do that?
There's a couple of different schools of thoughts on this. So typically people will say, oh, my metabolism slow down with age. That's why I can't lose weight. Sometimes this is true. Sometimes that you're less active. So you're not getting up and moving as much. Maybe you're not walking as much. You're parking closer to the store. But this is where things get a little bit deeper. Your energy levels and your behavior is going to be an impact of your health in general. So when you go through menopause, yes, fatigue is one of the symptoms. So you might feel more tired. So you're not going to have the energy to move more. So it's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's that your body is changing. That's the first thing. You're not doing anything wrong. And then with regards to metabolism, the more muscle mass that you've got, the higher your metabolism. So as we age, we lose muscle mass. So naturally, our basal metabolic rate and metabolism, the calories our body burns generally surviving, will decrease. So we want to really push for muscle gain as early as possible in life, and there's never, it's never too late to build muscle. It does get harder as we age, and also the more experienced you are, it gets harder as well. But if we can get more and more and more muscle, that's going to improve your metabolism. It's going to improve your health outcomes, energy levels, your hunger hormones. There's, your gut health, everything. There's stress. There's everything to gain through building muscle, and that will then, like I say, burn more calories, improve your metabolism.
You know, I think it's funny too, when people work out. So like my husband and I, he goes to the gym pretty religiously 3 days a week. I'm not going to say how many days I've gone because it has not nearly like it used to be. But I find that when he goes, he comes home, he is exhausted, right? He has worked himself to whatever. He's just like done. When I go to the gym, it invigorates me. And I come home and I'm like cleaning the house and I'm vacuuming everything and I'm getting cobwebs out of I'm like on fire. And he looks at me and I look at him and I'm like, we react completely differently when we go work out. And I find that so fascinating. My coworkers hate it when I go to the gym at lunch because when I come back, I'm just like, you know,
sprightly. Yeah.
I cannot calm down. I'm like, it invigorates me. And that just shows in everything else I do. So for the next 3 hours, like running around like in a hamster on a wheel, and they're just like, holy cow, she went to the gym, didn't she?
Like, they can tell.
Yes, they can. So
and that's how you should feel.
Sorry?
That's how you should feel. You
Oh,
should
really?
feel
Okay.
energized. Yeah, that's the right way. A lot of people will be like, oh, you know, I need to be sweating on the floor like a ball of, you know, just massive drop of sweat. Or I need to be aching for days. If I don't feel a burn, I'm not doing it hard enough. And this does come from, you know, no pain, no gain. Those kinds of, we call them bro science, bro statements. But really, that's how you should feel. You should feel really energized. You should feel good. Your mood should improve. These are all the positive signs, because if you're, you know, knackered from your workout, you can't move as much, then you're not going to move, you know, potter around. So we call it NEAT. It's non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is cleaning, carrying shopping, general, you know, and this, when I'm a handsy talker. So those kinds of things you will do less of. So you're naturally going to burn less calories throughout the day. So the calories you burn throughout the day is more than what you burn in that 1 hour session or 45-minute session. So the way that you're feeling is exactly how you should be feeling after the gym. Your partner, your husband, I'm not sure. Maybe it could be to do with nutrition. It could be to with what he did, sleep, stress. All of these things impact recovery from workouts. And also that is another thing. A lot of people will say, I need to go 5, 6, 7 times a week. And it's not necessary, you know. 3 times a week is good.
I would think I would think there is a point at which you go too much, right? Your muscles don't have a chance to recover. It's what I've always heard.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
overtraining.
Yeah. So how do you think that women can balance, you know, workouts with motherhood, with, you know, doing homework with the kids at night, and they're working a full-time job? So is there something small that they can do, like walk for 10 minutes a day, or, you know, something like that? What can they do if they can't get to the gym?
Yeah, exercise. We normally start with steps. So it doesn't have to be 10,000. That actually come from a marketing ploy or marketing campaign in Japan for the Olympics. They set out to do 10,000 steps a day. Yeah. So that's where that comes from. Yeah. Yeah. So you don't have to hit 10,000 a day.
Yay!
If you hit exactly. If you hit 2,000 a day, you could push for 4,000. And so 10,000 would be overreaching. But if you work on a farm maybe, or a warehouse where you're walking 30,000 steps a day, 10,000 wouldn't be enough for you because your body's adapted to that level. So you need to look at where you're at, first of all, and then slightly increase that activity. There are home workouts that you can definitely do as well. I'd say about 50% of our clients work out from home. The basics, because we're not looking to be, you know, stage competitors. If you want to, that's cool. But realistically, especially in midlife, we're looking for functionality and longevity. So we're looking at doing things like squats. Every time we sit down, it's a squat. Deadlifts. Every time we pick up shopping safely, that is a deadlift. You know, when you're in a flight and you put the overhead bag in the cabin, that's an overhead press. So we're looking at doing these kinds of things so that life is easier. And in that process, practice, you build muscle, and then we know the impact of that is your BMR increases. So any small things. Sometimes our clients start with purely steps, and then sometimes we add in 10 squats every 3 days, or 3 times a week, something like that. So we progress slowly rather than going from never working out to going 5 times a week, 10,000 steps. Like you say, trying to balance motherhood, homework, looking after your parents, maybe working. It's too much to do. That's why people burn out, fall flat, fail, give up, start on Monday, and rinse and repeat. So it's about making small, manageable changes so the journey's enjoyable as well.
So what kinds of things can people do? Because you kind of touched on it just now. If they have like bad knees, or if they have bad hips and they can't walk, or they're walking with a walker or a cane, or they might have had some kind of injury where one arm doesn't function as well as the other, and so they feel physically limited, but they want to exercise. They just physically know that they can't. I mean, certainly they can walk, but they're not going to be walking like without assistance. And do you have any tips for people in that category?
It depends on what the problem is, obviously, but you could do swimming, perhaps, depending. That's a good piece of resistance because it's water resistance, but also it's cardio as well. Like you say, walking with support, even maybe a cross trainer, if you can go to gym and get on an elliptical machine, that can be helpful because you're holding on. It's less impact on your joints, but generally, sometimes, I'm generally speaking here, a lot of the time when people have got bad knees, they need to build their strength in their legs. So squats are going to be the best thing. So squat doesn't mean, your bum needs to touch the floor, but simply squat into a chair and getting back up with, you can hold onto a table, hold onto a friend or wherever. Just practicing that a couple of times a day is really going to benefit you longer term. And then maybe you can go without assistance, and then maybe you can go a little bit to like a lower chair. So it's about progressing slowly, not feeling like I can't do anything, because that is where we get into a lot of trouble longer term then.
So that makes me think that I can do squats at work.
Yeah, definitely get them in wherever you can.
From my office chair.
Yeah.
That's cool. Something else that you just reminded me of. So, I've seen advertisements for workout programs on Facebook for like wall yoga, and people are laying on the floor and they're putting their feet on the wall and they're doing all kinds of different exercises. Do you think those, are those legitimate exercises, or how do you feel that yoga plays into the workout routine in general?
So I think what I've seen is wall Pilates. I haven't seen wall yoga, but I've seen wall Pilates.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, perhaps. So Pilates is really good. It does a lot of core stability, a lot of core strength, and it can be really, really challenging as well. So even though I go to the gym, 4 or 5 times a week, sometimes in Pilates, like if I went, I'd probably struggle as well. So that's the good thing. You can make it as difficult or as easy as you want. So that's really positive. What I would say is the marketing around those, like, get a 6-pack and, look like this girl or whatever, they're typically not true. They're embellished, shall we say. But yoga is really good. I do like clients doing yoga, not just because of the actual movement. That's because that's a good option when you're less mobile to increase mobility, but also the stress. It can help decrease stress. And that is something that we work on a lot with clients as well. So if clients are really, really busy, they've got a deadline at work maybe, or it's, spring break, or, wherever they're really busy with kids, we will say, okay, let's drop the workouts and let's do like 20 minutes of yoga or some mobility or something twice a week, because that's going to keep you moving, keep you active, but it's not a real stress. You could do it before you go to bed, you can do it when you wake up, whenever you can go and fit it in. And that I think is really beneficial. So it's not only looking at the physical impact, but also the cognitive and the hormonal impact of exercise as well.
It was kind of funny to me. I had been going to the chiropractor because I had sciatic nerve issues, and luckily I haven't had those for a while. But they kept telling me, because they knew I went to the gym and worked out, and they're like, yeah, you should do yoga too. And I'm like, why? Like, because in my mind, physically working out at the gym is like, I can feel my muscles, I don't like saying burning, but they hurt, right? But anyway, like, I feel like I'm doing way more exercise at the gym than I could ever think yoga could ever do for me. And they're like, no, you need to do both. And I'm like, are you serious? They were like, absolutely. So I haven't done it yet, but yoga is on my plan to at least try it. I'm a very hyperactive person. And in my mind, yoga is so slow going, and I don't like slow going, but I need slow going, right? So you need a balance of both. And
I'm exactly the same.
Oh, see, I'm just like, I can't, I'd be like wanting to do whatever dog pose, whatever those poses are. I don't even know what they're even called anymore. I haven't been forever. I would do some pose and I'd probably be like, okay, let's lift this leg, or let's go do something, because it's too slow for me. I used to play tennis when I was in high school, and I got to the point where I hated it because it was so slow waiting on the ball to come back to me. I started playing racquetball and I loved it, man. I killed that racquetball court because it was fast moving and I could get immediate reaction. And oh my gosh, that is my life. I'm just like, I want to do it right now, and I want to do it fast, and I want to get it going, and I just can't slow down. So, so you're helping me decide that yoga is probably good for me to try, and I should listen to my chiropractor at least.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely try it. Yes, yeah. I tried it once because I had so I've got a spinal condition, and I really injured. I get injured all the time from it. But I remember once I was going to see an osteopath, and he was like, "You should go to yoga," and I was like, "Really my thing?" I was doing like CrossFit, I was running, I was doing everything. I was like, "It's really my thing." He's like, "Just try it." And I went to one called Warrior Yoga because I thought that sounds like right up my street, Warrior Yoga. But unfortunately, it was just the warrior pose, like for a full 45 minutes. So I was really disappointed. But personally, I don't like yoga. I do a little bit of mobility before a workout, and for me, that's enough. But for stress management, I would rather take a walk because of the other benefits. But everyone's different, of course, So try it and see. That's the thing, with our program, we always get people to just try this. Just try doing 10 minutes of this or 5 minutes of that. If it doesn't work for you after you've given it a go a couple of times, then we'll move on. But just try it, see how it goes, Becky.
I think that's a great idea because, there's so many things we probably have not done because we were afraid of it and never even gave it a shot. And I'm like, no, we need to try something. And if we don't like it, we move on to something completely different, whatever it is. But so what are the health benefits to working out or to exercising?
Depends on the exercise, first thing. So there's cardiovascular exercise, and then there's resistance training or weightlifting, we could call it. And the health benefits typically are more for resistance training because it helps with stress. It helps you become more resilient. It helps build muscle mass, of course. A lot of diseases or the risk of diseases decreases because of the amount of muscle mass you've got. Cardiovascular is good. Obviously, we want to improve our heart health, but I wouldn't like to push it as a priority. Walking is usually enough cardio, and that's that. When it comes to weight training, a lot of people think that they're doing HIIT and circuits, and they're like, yeah, this is resistance training. This is what I want to do. But they aren't going to build muscle like a proper, 8 to 12 rep, a real program. And I know, Becky, it might be boring for a couple of times when you go in, you're like, oh my God, I've got to do this again, kind of thing. But the high in that is getting stronger each week. And so that builds confidence. And the more confidence you get there, not just in, movement day to day, but the confidence in yourself and the confidence in your abilities to do things that you never thought you'd be able to do. Like, if you're deadlifting 200 pounds next to like a big, massive guy, like that's really confident building. And then that's going to translate into other areas of your life as well. Then maybe I will, try writing that book, or maybe I will start that podcast, or maybe I will, wear a dress, which I don't normally wear. So it's how the workouts reflect different different areas of your life as well, I think. I think it's really important.
I think that's a great idea. I think we should at least try. You know, it's one of the things about this group is we want women to feel confident and positive about themselves and their bodies. And, you know, I think if you're down because you're overweight or whatever your thing is that you're upset about, you know, the only way you can fix it is to try. You know, it's nobody else can do it for you, right? You have to try it yourself. So I'm glad that you mentioned walking, because I think a lot of people don't realize how beneficial walking really is. And again, with me and my hyperactivityness, when we would walk as a family around our neighborhood, I would leave everybody behind me. I would be like, because that's my normal gait is quick.
Yes.
I was a runner in track in high school, and my race was short distance. I was a hurdler, and I always had to run fast, and I don't walk slow easily.
Yes, yeah. Conscious effort.
Yeah, yes, it is. My husband would hold my hand and grab me and bring me back to him, because I'd be like, gone. He's like, why are you in such a hurry? This is not a hurry. This is my normal walking. So anyway, I'm glad that walking is beneficial, because I do that much.
Yeah.
Okay.
And walking outdoors is more beneficial than walking on a treadmill also.
Oh, well, that would, yeah, because of all the flowers you can see behind you.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's
fresh air, right?
The fresh air, the microbiome, so your gut health is improved by walking outside, and, you know, maybe you'll like touch a tree or wherever, and those microbiome will then go into your gut and improve that, and that's going to help general health as well as weight loss, and the vitamin D from the sun as well.
I did not know that walking could help your gut by touching a tree.
Well, not necessarily touching a tree, but being outside improves gut health. And even there's I read a piece of science before, and so the best thing you could do is be outside with a plant. The next best thing is to be indoors with a plant for mental health. This was. The next best thing is to have fake plants indoors, because if you're anything like me, they'll be dead. And even having a photo or a picture of a plant improves mental health.
Really? I have never heard.
That's wild.
Awesome. That is awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I have a fig tree outside, so I can look at it through my kitchen window.
There we go. Go and give it a touch.
There you go. I will do that. All right. Our time is about up. So where can people find you? Tell us, you know, your website, your different social media sites. Where can we get in touch with you at?
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm Faye Nicolala Fitness. On Facebook, I'm Faye Nicolala Chapman. And we've also got This Coaching on Instagram as well. We've got another Facebook group as well called the Busy Women's Weight Loss Group, and that's where people can come and learn more. And our podcast on Spotify is Hangry and Hormonal.
I love that. I think that probably fits a lot of us women.
Yes.
Well, it was so glad to have you on with me today. I appreciate it so much.
Thanks, Becky.
Yep, I will make sure to tag all of your information at the bottom of the video so everybody can reach out and get in touch with you, and have a great afternoon. Hopefully it won't start storming. It's supposed to storm here pretty soon. So hopefully it'll be quick and gone. So
yeah.
All right. Well,
Thanks,
very
Becky.
nice
Thanks
to
for having
see
me on.
you.
See you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.